Hello guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Carlos Salazar. I'm a GT7 pro player from Portugal, and today I'm going to show you what happened on my round 5 of the manufacturer series here in Spa, where the weather was actually dynamic. So there was no point of studying a strategy because we would never know what the strategy would be, right? Okay, so let me start the replay by showing you the grid. So P1 we have a Lamborghini, P2 another Lambo, P3 me, myself and I, Audi, P4 Lambo, 5 Genesis, P6 a Subaru, P7 another Genesis, P8 Citroen, P9 McLaren, P10 Mercedes, P11 a Ferrari, a beautiful Ferrari, P12 Citroen, P13 Porsche, P14 McLaren, P15 and P16 Peugeot. Okay, so let's get to it. Right. First lap, no big deal in the front, except for me, actually. I see that P2 goes a little bit wide there in that corner, so I get just by his side. In here, just a small rubbing, and P2 was mine. There was already a penalty issued for Alex Still with the Lamborghini in P5. And at this point I was thinking, okay, let's just maintain the pace, be as consistent as possible, and try to get as close as possible to P1 as well, to get to his slipstream and then save a lot of, the most amount of fuel as possible, and to be closer to finishing the race in P1. So this was end of lap 1, and you can see, or you can start to see, that there is already a pack of cars getting far away from the remaining. Okay, so the first Lamborghini, me in the Audi, the second Lamborghini, and Fento on the Genesis. A little bit of lag on Polyphony Digital servers, sorry, as usual, but we keep going. So in here, I brake a little bit later than what was expected, and the second Lamborghini gets P2. So he was able to overtake me as cleanly as possible, but I knew that I would have a better pace than him, despite for the small mistakes I was doing. And the pack of four was composed by the Genesis, the Audi, and the two Lambos in front. And so we keep going. And I think that this doesn't change a lot until lap 9. Okay, by lap 6 we were already on the tail of the Lamborghini, and you see that my strategy is going to change a little bit, because I knew that I had just enough fuel to get to the end of the 20 lap race, so I wasn't going to overtake, and my aim was to save as much fuel as possible to, whenever we went to the pits to change tires, hopefully for the rain tires, the intermediates, we would not need to refuel, so we could save a little bit of time, and our car would be a little bit lighter, so we could do corners a little bit faster as well. As you can see in lap 6, by the end of lap 6, it started to rain just a little bit. The weather map was showing that the circuit was being struck by just light rain. Okay, so light blue, so we wouldn't need to change tires right now. So we could continue with the mediums with no problem whatsoever. Getting here, I was not going to overtake P2, and I just bumped him on the rear just a little bit, so that he knows that I'm not going to do anything stupid. I'm not going to try to overtake for us to lose time for the pack behind us, because we were already four: Fento, me, Humbert, and Merenda. So we would need to work collaboratively as a team to get as much distance as possible from the other ones. And that's exactly what we are doing here. Okay, by this time we already have, as you can see from the rain meter on the top left, on the bottom left, sorry, you see that we already have a little bit of rain on the track. But this is still not enough for us to change for the intermediate tires. In here, I almost get a penalty, but it was really close. And so what I actually did, again, as I mentioned, teamwork makes the dream work, right? So let's not attack by now. Let's just keep it simple, bump drafting, try to get as much distance as possible from the guys behind us. And you see that Fento already has his front tires almost half percent gone. They look really bad compared to Alex Steel Lamborghini, and also compared to my Audi. So fast forwarding to lap 10, sorry. See that positions do not change much. We are still in P3, Fento in P4, but already a little bit far away to do any sort of attack. And at this time, I said, well, I need to go first to the pits for me to leave the pits in P2 or P1. And you see that there is a small brawl there between me and the Lamborghini. So in here I was trying to brake as much as possible, but I still hit the side of the Lamborghini. But no harm was done, so I got the position. I got P2, but the Lamborghini decides not to go for the move, which was actually smart because otherwise we would lose P1 there. And you see that the Lamborghini is already struggling with the Genesis behind him. And the Genesis is struggling with himself because of the tire wear. At this point, I think that the fuel remaining in our tanks is almost similar, but I had a little bit more fuel compared to the two Lamborghinis. And so this was the moment where I just thought that I could benefit from the pit stop here. And so I see the first Lamborghini going to the pits, and I ask, why not? And I go for it. So just be mindful of the fuel remaining in the tanks of all of the cars in here, right? You see that I was P2 with 48% of fuel. Miranda was in P1, and then there is one, I don't know what to call him actually, a crazy guy, crazy dude, TGX Doctor 46, that decides to stay on track and just go again and just do one more lap with the mediums, which was not the best idea, and you will understand why. Okay, so we changed for the intermediates, and you see that the rain meter on the track is already above the first level, so it means that the intermediate tires are suitable for this amount of rain on the track. So my strategy for this stint was to try to be as clean as possible, do not slide much, and third and most important was to save as much fuel as possible, because I was already behind, or a little bit lower than half of the tank, and we would still have half of the race to complete. So I'll leave you to it. I got lucky there. I got lucky there because if Doctor 46 would stay on track, we would be in a bad shape, because we needed to overtake him. We knew that he was still on the mediums, so if we didn't overtake him right at that moment, we would still be behind him. But yeah, unlucky for him and lucky for us. And so while we continue the racing, just be mindful of the position of Calcer. Okay, so if you do remember, he's driving the Subaru, okay, the WRX, and is currently P6. Okay, lap 12, P6, and he has the Subaru. Okay. So, this is the first time that I'm seeing this amount of lag in a an official manufacturer series race, right? this this clip was crazy. This clip was this this was an enormous lag moment. Wow, I would be scared if I was me driving on Fento's position. Okay, let's skip forward some laps. Okay, let's go to lap 15. So in here, I am still P1. The first Lamborghini or Merenda is still in P2. Rain is still falling from the sky. We have Fento in P4 and Calster is already P5. In here there was a small mistake there. I go a little bit wide and I go over the curb, which gives us a little bit of dirty tires, but still nothing major. There was no gravel whatsoever, so we can just continue our race in P1. So the trick while driving on the rain is actually a good tip. So try to be as gentle as possible, either on the throttle or the brakes or the wheel itself. Okay, otherwise it is really easy to get understeer and on corner entries, and also oversteer on corner exits. Okay, just be mindful of that while you are driving on the rain. See, that was the oversteer on the corner exit that I was talking about a few moments ago. Okay, right here, P1 is still secured, lap 17 out of 20. You see that Miranda is more or less 1 second away from me. But Calster, that was P6 at the beginning of this stint, so in the beginning of lap 10, right now is P3. And he's still going. So I'm going to leave you a little bit with the camera from Calster just to see what he's doing or how he did manage to get to P2. So you see that there was a small moment there for Miranda with the Lamborghini. Just before the camel straight, there was a small corner cut which gave him a half a second penalty. So, and for that reason, I think that what Miranda thought was, okay, let me just get behind Calster, because otherwise, if Calster can get Carlos ahead, so they can slow them down, okay? So it was exactly what I would think if I was in his place. What he's doing here, weaving around the track, is, I don't know if this is already proven or not, but some say that if you go through the side of the track which has more water, your tires will not suffer as much wear as they would if you are on the dry part of the racetrack. But you see that even though I am not doing what he's doing, I still have a little bit less wear than he has. But right now, we are entering lap 19, and it is not raining anymore, first, and second, he's gaining a lot of time to me. So I I started to be as careful as possible, but to try to get as much speed as possible at the same time, because we wouldn't want to lose this race just 1 or 2 laps before the finish line. And we enter the last lap of the race. I start to see my life going backwards because Calster is literally on my tail. But I still decide that if I maintain this pace, if I still go as I'm going, we would get P1. So right there on the Rouge, there was a small moment for me where it's always on the last lap you try to be as careful as possible, but then you start doing crazy stuff. I wanted to use another word, but I won't. And you see that Calster is practically almost going for P1, and I'm trying to get as much as the inside of the track, or the wet part and also the dry part, as much as possible, because therefore I can get both of the lanes, or the lines, let's say. And actually, funny enough, Calster's car is going to reach the 10,000 kilometers milestone. Great. I was not expecting this, compared to my almost 1.5. And yeah, so I knew that on a straight line, the Subaru wouldn't have any chance. And in here we are already almost finishing the lap, or the race itself. And yeah, at this moment I said, well, let's just do what we normally do, so be as safe as possible. He tried to go on the inside, but then no, it was a no-no. So P1, we got 410 points on this one. Calster P2, what an amazing race that he did. And then we have the Lamborghini Fento on the Genesis with almost no front tires. We have the other Lambo again. Citroën, Peugeot, McLaren, Porsche, Citroën, Lamborghini, Peugeot, the Mercedes AMG, and then the brave guy, Dr. 46, that he did one more lap on the mediums and he screwed the whole race. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Click on the like button, please. This is the first time I ask for this. But yeah, take care and I see you on track.